Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we are tackling something, well, pretty much everyone struggles with at some point. Procrastination. You know that feeling, right? That big thing you need to do, maybe an important call or just starting a project, and you keep putting it off. It can feel like life's on hold. So in this deep dive, we've dug into some really solid sources, workbooks, audio classes, workshops to figure out not just why we procrastinate, but more importantly, how we can actually, overcome it systematically. The mission today: give you the tools, the real evidence-based strategies so you can stop hitting snooze on your goals and start making things happen. Let's get into it.
Yeah, it's fascinating because we often just label it laziness, but it's really so much deeper than that. The word itself, procrastinus, Latin, basically means belonging to tomorrow. So this isn't new. Humans have been wrestling with this for, well, thousands of years. But modern psychology gives us a much better handle on it. It's seen now as an emotional regulation problem, not some kind of character flaw. Think of it as a needless voluntary delay, one that actually has negative consequences for you. It's different from strategically waiting, when delaying is actually the smart move.
Okay, that reframing emotional regulation, not laziness, that feels like a huge way off, doesn't it? Less blame. But if it is about emotions, what kind of feelings are we talking about? What's actually like pulling the strings when we decide to do it later? What's really holding you back?
That's the million-dollar question, really.
Yeah.
The roots are almost always emotional, and they tend to show up in a few key ways. Often it's fear, fear of failing, obviously, but also sometimes fear of succeeding or just fear of what others might think if you put your work out there. It can just freeze you up. Then you've got control issues. This sounds a bit odd, maybe, but delaying tasks, especially one that feels huge or overwhelming, it can give you this temporary illusion of being in control.
Ah, like pushing back against something you feel powerless over.
Exactly. It's a brief escape hatch. Then there are just plain negative emotions. If a task makes you feel stressed or anxious or just bored stiff, well, avoiding it feels pretty good in the short term.
Sure does.
And finally, decision paralysis. Just too many options, too much uncertainty about how to proceed. Your brain just kind of jams, and doing nothing feels easier than making the wrong choice.
So it really is about navigating that internal world, not just forcing yourself with willpower. That clicks. All right, let's get practical then. How do we navigate this? Strategy number one comes from Piers Steele. He's a major researcher in this area, did some really groundbreaking work on motivation. He came up with this powerful little formula. You almost want to tattoo it on your brain. MEXVIXD. Motivation equals, well, you'll explain it.
Huh? Yeah, it's a great little equation. Really helps clarify things. Okay, let's break it down. Up top, in the numerator, you have expectancy E and value V. These are the things you want to crank up. Expectancy is basically your confidence. Do you actually believe you can do this task? If your confidence is low, forget it. Motivation tanks.
Right?
So boost that by thinking about past wins, your strengths. Or if the goal feels way too big, maybe you need to adjust the goal itself or build up some skills first.
Makes sense. And value.
Value is, well, how much do you care?
Yeah.
Does this task actually mean something to you? You need to connect it to stuff that matters, your bigger goals, rewards that actually excite you. It has to fire you up, not just be another should on your list.
Okay, boost confidence, boost value. What's downstairs in the equation?
Downstairs, in the denominator, we have impulsivity, I, and delay, D. These are the motivation killers you want to drive down. Piers Steele is pretty blunt about impulsivity. He says, essentially, procrastination wouldn't even exist without chronic impulsivity.
Yeah.
It's your tendency to get sidetracked checking emails, scrolling social media, you know the drill. Those little rat-like tendencies for instant reward, you got to discipline those.
Ouch. Rat-like tendencies. But true.
And delay is simply the time gap. How far away is the reward or the deadline? The further off it seems, the easier it is to say mañana. So the trick here is to shrink that delay. Break those massive goals into tiny, immediate steps, like island hopping.
Island hopping, I like that. Instead of staring at the distant continent, just aim for the next little island you can see.
Exactly. Makes it feel achievable now.
Okay, so boost E and V, cut down I and D. Confidence up, value up, distractions down, time gap down. Got it. Powerful framework. So once we've got that motivation engine tuned up, where do we point it? Strategy 2 is all about setting clear goals, your North Star. We need a target, right? Imagine an archer without a bullseye or a golfer teeing off with no hole in sight. You just become aimless, wandering.
Absolutely. We're teleological, as they say, goal-oriented beings. But not just any goal works. Effective goals have 4 key traits. First, they need to be challenging and meaningful. They should stretch you a bit, Growth happens outside the comfort zone, but not so much that you feel totally overwhelmed. And meaningful is key. It has to connect to your purpose, not just what someone else thinks you should do.
Intrinsic motivation, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Second, be specific in detail. Write paper is okay, but not great. Complete the outline for my psychology paper by 5 p.m. Tuesday using 3 articles from the library database. That's the target you can actually aim for.
Much clearer, actionable.
Third, and this connects right back to island hopping, break it into mini goals. What's the very next step? Focus only on that.
Yeah.
Polynesian explorers didn't aim for Hawaii from Tahiti. They aimed for the next chain of islands. These small wins build momentum and crush that feeling of delay.
Keep the horizon close.
And fourth, embed goals in routines. Predictability is your pal here. Seriously. Set up regular times for things. Maybe deep work happens first thing every morning. When it becomes routine, it stops being this big decision you have to make every single time. It just happens.
Predictability is your pal. I love that. It takes the fight out of it, which actually leads perfectly into strategy number 3, which sounds almost too simple, but maybe it's the most powerful. Just get started. I read this fascinating study using fMRI scans. It showed the brain activity linked to the anxiety or like the pain of starting a task. It often just vanishes the second you actually begin doing it.
Yes. It's incredible. Feelings follow behavior, not the other way around.
Yeah.
We wait to feel motivated, but often the motivation comes after we start.
So how do we just start?
Well, one super practical tip is the 2-minute rule. If something takes less than 2 minutes, just do it right now. Don't even think about it. Builds tiny bits of momentum.
Okay, simple, effective.
For bigger things, commit to starting for just a tiny amount of time, 5 minutes. Anyone can do 5 minutes right. Often that's enough to get you over the hump. And then there's the start again principle. This is gold. Think about meditation. Your mind wanders, you notice, you gently bring it back. Same thing here. You will get distracted. The practice isn't about never getting distracted. It's about returning to the task. Like that Burmese chanting tradition says, start again, again, and again. Keep coming back.
Love that. It's not about perfection.
Not at all. And remember what the artist Chuck Close said. Inspiration is for amateurs. Professionals just get to work. Harsh, maybe, but there's truth there. Action precedes inspiration.
Professionals just get to work. Yeah, that cuts right through the waiting game. Okay, building on that action focus, strategy 4 is process over product. This one challenges you to stop obsessing about the final result and just focus on putting in consistent effort, doing the steps right. Reminds me of that story about the Olympic shooter Lanny Basham coaching a golfer. The guy won $1 million but didn't even realize it immediately because he was so dialed into his process for every single shot, not the leaderboard.
That's a perfect illustration. It takes so much pressure off. Your focus shifts to what you can actually control, your actions, your effort right now. The results tend to take care of themselves when the process is solid.
So how do we do that? Focus on process.
A really fantastic technique is the Pomodoro technique. Heard of it?
Vaguely. Timers, right?
Yeah. You work in focused bursts, typically 25 minutes, totally focused. Then you take a short 5-minute break, completely step away. After about 4 of those cycles, you take a longer break, maybe 15, 30 minutes. It breaks down daunting tasks into manageable chunks. And those built-in breaks, they're crucial. They prevent burnout, keep you fresh. You're focusing on executing those 25-minute blocks. Well, that's the process.
I can see how that would make a huge project feel less intimidating. Just focus on the next Pomodoro.
Exactly. Stress goes down, consistency goes up, results follow.
Okay, this is great. But
Yeah.
we know willpower isn't infinite, right?
Yeah.
Especially when those emotional triggers pop up. So strategy 5 helps us conserve that willpower. If-then implementation intentions. And we compare this with something called WOP. It's about pre-deciding, right? Like Odysseus lashing himself to the mast before he heard the siren song.
Precisely. You make the decision when you're calm and rational, so you don't have to rely on shaky willpower in the heat of the moment. For if-then, it's simple. First, identify your kryptonite. What's the specific thing you do when you start procrastinating? Is it checking social media? Raiding the fridge?
Uh-oh. Maybe both.
Okay, so you pick one. Let's say social media. Then you create your if-then rule. If I feel the urge to check Instagram when I should be working, then I will immediately close my laptop, stand up, and walk around the room for 2 minutes. It's a pre-programmed response. Takes the decision-making struggle out of it.
Simple, but I can see how that would work. What's WOOP-P then? Sounds kind of funny.
WOOP is fantastic. It's from researcher Gabriel Ottingen. It builds on if-then by adding a really important step. See, just visualizing success can sometimes make you feel like you've already achieved it, paradoxically reducing motivation.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Whoop forces you to contrast your wish with the reality of the obstacles. It creates a sort of necessity to act that stands for wish. W. What's your goal? Your ideal outcome? Let's say finish writing 125 philosopher notes and 25 master classes this year. Outcome. O. What's the best result or feeling if you achieve that wish? Feeling amazed at the accomplishment, helping loads of people optimize their lives, hitting key business targets. Obstacle. O. Now this is crucial. What's the main internal obstacle? What within you could get in the way? Maybe it's my impulsivity, my tendency to get easily distracted online, especially early in the day. Plan. P. Now you create if-then plan specifically for that obstacle. If I feel tempted to surf the web before completing my deep work, then I will remind myself this is my #1 obstacle and stick firmly to my bright lines rule of no discretionary web use until the afternoon.
Wow. So you're not just wishing, you're anticipating the specific internal roadblock and planning your detour in advance. That feels really robust.
It really is. It mentally prepares you.
Okay, speaking of roadblocks, especially the online kind, Strategy 6 tackles a really sneaky one. Beware the "it'll just take a minute" trap. This is like the arch nemesis of deep work, right? Do you ever catch yourself thinking that, well, just quickly check email or just see what's new on Twitter?
Guilty as charged.
Yeah.
We all do it.
Yeah.
And it's so costly. There are two big problems with the just-a-minute mindset. First, let's be honest. It never takes just a minute. It's a total slippery slope. That quick check turns into 10 minutes, then 30, then you're down a rabbit hole and wondering where your morning went.
Yep, been there many times.
Second, even if you manage to keep it brief, it creates what scientists call attention residue. Your brain doesn't just instantly switch back 100% to your main task. Part of your attention, your cognitive resources, remain stuck on what you just looked at. So even when you return to your important work, you're less focused, less effective. It subtly degrades your performance.
Attention residue, that's a great term for it. It really captures that feeling of being slightly fragmented after a quick distraction.
Exactly. And that's why Strategy 7, embracing deep work, is so critical. This concept, really championed by Cal Newport, is about focused, undistracted work. We have to accept that multitasking is a myth. You're not actually doing two complex things at once. Your brain is just switching back and forth rapidly, doing both poorly and inefficiently.
Like trying to text and drive?
Precisely. And the stats on that are terrifying. Driving while talking on the phone, 4 times the risk. Texting, 6 times more dangerous than driving drunk. It shows how badly task switching impairs us.
Wow.
So the solution? Ruthlessly eliminate distractions. Phone on airplane mode, preferably in another room. All notifications off, email pop-ups, social media alerts, news flashes, all of it.
All of them. That sounds intense.
It makes a huge difference. Remember Piers Steele's research. Just turning off email notifications alone was found to boost effectiveness by around 10%. That translates over a year to basically getting an extra month of productive work done.
An extra month just from turning off email alerts.
An extra month. That's the power of reclaiming your focus.
Okay, I'm sold on deep work. Now, for our next strategy, I want to ask you listening. What do you think is the absolute #1 reason people give when they explain why they procrastinated?
The answer, overwhelmingly.
Ah.
I'm tired. Just fatigue.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Which is why Strategy 8 is all about the fundies, your foundation. You simply cannot perform at your best, cognitively or emotionally, if your basic physical needs aren't met. It's non-negotiable. First, sleep. Aim for 8 hours. Seriously prioritize it. And here's a pro tip. Set a bedtime alarm, maybe an hour or 2 before you actually want to be asleep. That's your signal to start winding down, power off screens, prepare for rest. Don't just rely on a wake-up alarm.
A bedtime alarm, I like that. Proactive.
Second, eat. Fuel your brain. It's only about 3% of your body weight, but that demanding little organ uses 20–30% of your daily calories. Feed it well. Nutrient-dense foods. And really watch the sugar it leads to energy crashes and brain fog.
Good reminder. Fuel the machine.
And third, move. Exercise. It's like natural Ritalin and Prozac rolled into one. Boosts mood, sharpens focus, increases energy. Find something you enjoy and make it regular.
Sleep, eat, move. The fundamentals, can't skip those if you want the brain to work.
Absolutely foundational.
Okay, so we're building this great toolkit, but we know progress isn't always a straight line, right? We hit bumps. Strategy 9 is about mindset shifts for sustained success, acknowledging the zigzags.
Exactly. Growth is messy. You'll have good days and bad days. Having the right mindset helps you navigate those inevitable dips. First, and maybe most important, self-compassion. You will mess up. You'll procrastinate again. It happens. The research is clear. Beating yourself up actually makes you more likely to procrastinate next time.
Really? That seems backward.
It does, but it's true. Harsh self-criticism drains your resources. Instead, embrace common humanity. Recognize that everyone struggles. Use Lanny Basham's needs work idea. If you fall short, just acknowledge it calmly. Okay, that needs work. Learn the lesson, maybe mentally rehearse doing it better next time, and move on. Don't wallow. And just as importantly, when you do succeed, even in small ways, acknowledge that too. That's like me. Reinforce the positive.
These work. That's like me. Simple but powerful.
Very. Then there's the rhino mindset. Saw this in one of the sources, loved it. Rhinos are huge, thick-skinned, they got that massive horn, and when they charge, apparently up to 40-mile-per-hour, they just go, huh, straight ahead, blindly focused. The idea is to adopt that kind of relentless charge toward your goals. Ignore the distractions, the excuses. See your goals as essential, not optional.
Charge like a rhino. Got it.
Also, reframe obstacles as opportunities. See challenges not as annoying roadblocks, but as the actual path forward. The friction is where growth happens. Don't wish it was easier. Focus on getting better yourself. And find ways to make tough tasks more engaging, turn it into a game, do it with a friend, whatever works.
Change your perception of the obstacle.
Exactly. And finally, cultivate being hyper-decisive, especially early in the day. Decision fatigue is real. Make choices quickly, particularly for recurring things. Design that sacred morning routine we talked about. Tackle your most important, difficult tasks first thing, before decision fatigue sets in and distractions have a chance. Eliminate the choice point early. These mindsets, combined with other tools like maybe the Eisenhower matrix, sorting tasks into dog, schedule, delegate, delete, or the eat the frog principle of tackling your ugliest task first, they all work together to build resilience and momentum.
Wow. Okay, that was a seriously comprehensive deep dive. We went from understanding procrastination as really an emotional regulation thing, all the way through to concrete strategies. We covered the motivation equation, setting clear island hopping goals, the power of just starting, focusing on process with things like Pomodoro, using if-then and Whoop to pre-commit, the vital importance of deep work and battling distractions, nailing the fundamentals like sleep, and cultivating those resilient mindsets, self-compassion, the rhino. It's clear this isn't about flipping a switch overnight. It's definitely a journey, a practice.
Absolutely. And please, don't feel like you have to implement all 10 strategies tomorrow. That would be overwhelming. Just pick one, or maybe two. Whichever resonated most strongly with you today. Start small, practice consistently, and be kind to yourself along the way. Those small, steady efforts, they really do add up to significant change over time.
Brilliant advice. So let's leave you with this thought. What one small action, just one thing, will you take today, right now, even to start shifting from that feeling of paralysis towards productivity? Your future self will definitely thank you for starting now.